Welcome back to PlumQuest. I'm Monica and I love playing Sims 4 challenges. Today we will be setting up our tiny town. The challenge was created by Deligracy. The basis of it is a large lot that is then broken down into 7 rental units or 7 smaller units. And then 7 different Sims move in and they create different homes based on their own style and their own colors, but they can only earn their income from specific skills. So now I have the for rent pack, so there's small limitations to it, which is the first one is, give me a second, sorry. Okay. The first limit is you can only now have 6 rental units on a lot. So we don't need the grid line. So I'm going to clear out this one back here. And this was the photography unit. So I'm just going to clear this out. And I noticed that this unit needed a wee bush. All right. And clear this. Thank you. Okay. So, and then I'll give you a small tour of the other units. All right. And, oh, nope, not that. The for sale sign. There we go. Okay. So, we now have 6 units on this one lot, and we are in Brindleton Bay on the Hound's Head lot. So we have Frank stems here. This will be for the gardening and floral arrangement. We have Ziggy Yarn, who will be doing the cross stitch and knitting. Then we have Opal Gem, and she'll be doing jewelry making. We have Chris Woods, who will be doing the candle making and woodworking. Azure Hugh, who will be painting, and then Beatrice Jam, who will do cooking and baking. Okay, now because this is set up to be able to play with or without for rent, I've got to go make some alterations just so that the for rent pack will work. So the first thing I do is I've got to get a room that is 4x4. Okay, I'm going to toggle up for a minute. And then she adds all this really nice debris and things scattered around, which give it like a more being developed type of feel to it. So I love that. But so that everything will fit, I've got to slide it back a little bit. So all I did so far was take a room and made it a 4x4, and then I added the fencing that she's already using as the fencing for it, and then I'm just going to get rid of the floor. So then I can duplicate this and place it right on top. And now residential rental. So I changed our venue info. And then I can select this spot now. And I can turn it into one of the units. Then I'm going to come over here and I changed the unit. You needed this. You can use that, change these into the name of the tenant that's going to go there so I remember. All right, so this is Frank Stem's unit. As you also see, she provides a tent and a cooler and a wee bush. Now, if you don't have a pack that has the potty bush, you can always add a communal potty to the lot. She does have a grill and, get out of that view, a grill and a bench also. So you can always add, like, I think before I got one of the packs, I don't remember which one I got right away that had it. I would put one of those like park type restrooms back here on the back side of this tree. So, but it's your game. Make it, what you have. Don't purposely buy packs just to, it's not the spirit of why she made the challenge. Um, all right. And so just make it yours and what you have, make it work within there. Um, like on this one, I like to add a rocking chair in here. Um, to me, it just feels like it should belong for Ziggy to knit on a rocking chair. So we'll add that in. And let's see, let's do this one. Get a nice little yellow pad on there. And I just kind of drag this along as I'm going, and I just duplicate it. That way, we're going to move this up when we do it too. Let's duplicate. Put that in. Oh, and I forgot to mark Ziggy's. And because of the way I'm going to have to click this later, I'm going to kind of move this stuff back this way. But I'll show you why when we go to get our tenant in. I forgot to be marking these as units. So let's go do that. And actually, Ziggy Yarn, they come in story as the game, not play the perfect game. Let the game play out in itself. This is Chris Woods, and his color is orange. All right, and then just 2 more to go. So this is Azra Hue, and we're just creating units as we go. Like the unit name or address or anything, then you would already be farther than this. Azra Hue, and hers is blue. Okay, and then the last one, I don't need to copy it because there's only one left, so I can just drop it on. And that's going to be Beatrice Jams. And then create a unit. And hers is already pink, so that works out nicely. And then I also, garbage. I put a park style garbage can at the entrance there for them. All right, and that sets up the property. So the property's all set up. You do have to set the property up first. So make sure you go in, you set it up as a residential rental if you have the rental pack. If not, there's nothing else really you have to do. And you can play with all 7 if you're not using the rental. So it was like a toss up for me. So if you're not using for rent, you can actually have the 7th sim still here, and you don't need to enlarge it. So you would just be ready to go after placing the lot. I did download this lot from Deligracy, her gallery. I'll leave the link for that for her page, and all the rules and all of that. I'll leave that in the description. But next we're going to go meet our landlord, Ricardo McFace. All right, Ricardo, who is living over in Oasis Springs. He is recently retired, cashed out all of his retirement, and his wife passed away, and he decided he just wanted something small to continue to invest in, and a way to give the tenants a way to feel like it's their own. So he is going to buy a residential rental. So you click on the cash register where the business is and click residential rental. And then we're going to buy a residential rental. We're going to go back to Brindleton Bay, click on the lot, and then purchase it. All right. There we go. Now we're going to go into, I don't know what those are hidden, live mode. Let me turn him around just so I can get a photo real quick. Okay, but we're going to go into live mode. And give me one moment. I just want to get a screenshot here of him in the unit. There we go. Ah, unclick the button. Unclick the button. We're flying high. Okay, now we're going to go and set up the rental agreement. So in the lot, if it's not already opened, you're going to click your cash register. And again, click on residential rental. And then over here next to each rental is the agreement. Now you can leave the rent per day as 16, whatever. This is the one that's important where it says lease length. The highest you could go is 999 days. The thing is, you don't want the lease to run out before the game is done. So we're going to set that for 999 sim days, and we're going to click OK. And we have to do this for each tenant, and you can change up some of the unit rules or things like that. Okay. For your gameplay, again, always make Sims gameplay or how the things that you like to do in your game, you're just not going to stick with it. You're not going to have much fun as you can. And it really is while to start really wanting to play it my way and not just follow. I like to follow and draw inspiration, but the gameplay becomes my own, which is, again, part of the reason why we are... Okay. We're all set up. Not moving everybody in at once. All right, so to move a tenant in, you can't be on the lot. You have to go home, which is really silly to me. But that's okay. It's okay. So we're going to take him home because then we're going to have to come back because I want to introduce him. I do think that the landlord and the tenant should at least have a friendly introduction beforehand. All right, go to manage worlds. And then remember I told you that we moved a couple things around and we made the lot just a little bit bigger. This is where I get to show you why. So if you click on the lot, when you go, each unit has their own rental thing, but you have to click on the items on something that's inside the unit until they actually start building a house. So they're very, very small to begin with to click on it. So, and then that's also why I labeled the unit name so that I knew where I was putting each person. Because until I get to the last person, the last tenant, I gotta know where their stuff is. So Frank Stem's gonna go here. So we're gonna click on his unit. And then we're going to move a tenant. And yeah, no. And then, so this is Frank. Everybody say hello to Frank. Maybe. There we go. Everybody say hello to Frank. Hi, Frank. Hi, Frank. Okay. Uh, so Frank is going to be our residential elder, and he's going to do gardening, and floral arranging. That's what it was. Okay, so again, you have to click on the whole lot, and then you have to click on that item again to be able to play that sim. All right, and All right, let's go in here. And now Deligracy added some items into each section to kind of help the Sims get started. Because if you hit Control Shift C, you can turn this into a rags to riches and zero out their money. Now I do not sell from the inventory during my game. We'll see how that goes for now. So that means that he would have to go to either the flea market or go to a yard sale or things like that and sell the items. Now, she did give him some flowers and stuff to start with, but he has no money. So, eating, he's going to be living out of the cooler and the tent and stuff. So, he could do it. It's just going to be hard in the beginning. So, let's get Frank over here and move him in. All right, and also I want to lock the gate for everyone but Brink because they don't have a door, so that's basically the door. All right, and then we're going to save and go to Worlds. And now let's go get Ricardo and bring him over for introduction. And then we'll do the last thing, which again, you don't have to do because it requires a mod. But I have a mod that creates a bank account for the Sims, a bank account, checking and a saving separately. So we're going to go back to travel. All right. I use custom content. I use mods. I don't use them in all my gameplays. I don't use all of the same ones. But I really like this one, especially for this challenge, because it allows the Sims to do an automatic deposit into a joint bank account, which they can then get a debit card and they can use that to build on the community lot. Also, leave in the comments some ideas for the community lot. I know back here, I'm thinking a playground slash park slash community garden area. And then in the big area here, the central area, I'm thinking something like a community center with like a gathering hall and something like that style to where everybody can come and like they can do their skills and like Frank can teach Beatrice about gardening for tomatoes and things that'll help her skills. Azura can have painting in there so that if Ziggy wants to paint, there's a small area for him to do that. So it becomes more like a community center of, I don't want to say technically classes or things, but that's kind of the idea. And I don't know if I'm making sense of what I want to do, but that's kind of what I'm thinking. You guys tell me what you think and give me some ideas, not a lot. Again, I don't want to, if I'm playing the perfect game again, it's just not as fun. So it's all like right now, I'm not going to guide their conversation or nothing. I am going to have Ricardo get his bank account. So, I will leave the link to my website, which does have a list of all the mods that I use. And again, I may not use all of them at once in a game, but it's all the ones that I use. So we are going to share this account with Frank. And we're going to call this community checking used to build. And Ricardo is going to deposit $50 of his own money into the bank account. each time a new sim moves in. Then, let's see here. All right. I think that is it. So everything's set up. There's a lot more involved in setup. Um, you know, how about we say goodbye? Let's not be rude. Okay. There's a lot less to set up if you're not using for rent. All right. So basically it's just placing the lot and just getting your Sims involved. Um, you don't need a landlord, so there is some challenges that will come in our gameplay because we have a landlord, because it is a rental, but you don't have to have that. And you could just create your own, you know, rental type problems per se, or rewards or things like that. So, but that's pretty much it. Thank you so much for joining me along this journey, and I can't wait to get into our gameplay with you guys and see where all of this takes us. As always, we'll see you next time on the next video, and have a wonderful day.